Hello, everybody. Welcome to It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Wow, we are so excited to have you on the show today. And it's a special day. It's 360-degree Health Day. And we're excited to have this amazing guest. I'm not going to tell you about it yet. Come back on the show and to discuss a very interesting and very important topic. Again, I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. I'm the co-host. And here's Dr. Michael Mantell. He's also the co-host. Dr. Mantell, how are you doing?
Doing great. And I'm so excited about this guest who's going to connect our mental well-being to the earth and to our beautiful surroundings. That's why I'm outside. And this is going to be a great opportunity for us, all of our viewers, our listeners, to learn about the importance of being outside.
Uh-oh. Well, Todd, here we go. We're going to bring in the radio portion. Let's go.
All right, here we go. We're starting in about 20 seconds.
Okay.
Brought to you by West Escondido, West Kearny Mesa, West Oceanside, West Miramar, and West El Cajon Automotive and Transmission, all part of the West Automotive Group. Auto Talk Radio is on 7 to 8 a.m. Saturdays on The Answer San Diego.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Welcome, everybody. It's Your Life for Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I am Dr. Michelle Cooley. I'm the co-host, and we have Dr. Michael Mantell on the show. How are you doing today, Dr. Mantell?
Doing great, loving being outside. And we're going to learn more about why being outside is so important to our mental well-being and our life in general.
Oh, most definitely. I just want to remind everybody that Dr. Mantell and I will be co-hosting the show the rest of the week due to Dr. James Cooley. He lost his daughter this recently, and we want to thank you for your prayers or your love and all your condolences. So thank you. So Dr. Mantell, we got an amazing guest on the show today, but before we introduce her, Todd, how are you doing?
I'm always good. I'm jealous of Dr. Mantell. He's outside in nature. I love it. I'm excited for today's show and today's guest. You know, when we're young, we love getting out in the nature. And then when we get a little bit older, I think we get a little bit more appreciation for it. So I got my notepad and I'm ready for today's show.
Todd, you're gonna learn a lot.
And Dr. Mantell, you look like you're on an island. You don't look like you're within the United States. You look like you're on a tropical island. Well, maybe not Gilligan's Island, but definitely a tropical island. I know.
It's real. It's not a fake background.
I know. It's so gorgeous. Well, Audience, we're just excited to have you on the show today. And it's 360-degree Health Day. How important is that day, Dr. Mantell?
Well, what is more important than health? I don't know of anything. If we don't have our health, it doesn't matter what kind of car you drive, how beautiful the tree is in your backyard. Nothing of that stuff matters. We all have been through health challenges, and we know the value of when we pray for health, when we pray for well-being. And right now, the Cooleys are going through a tough time because of a lack of health. So put it that way. And we're here to celebrate life, and that means health. And this is the gift that we have. When we see the leaves shaking, it reminds us to be aware. And I don't want to steal our guest thunder because she's going to teach us all about this. And she has so much, her vibe and her energy just comes right through the screen. So I'm going to give it back to you, Michelle, to take it from there.
Well, yes. So the title of today's show is What is Eco Gerontology? We're meeting a pioneer on a mission to grow Harmonious. I'm going to let her tell you the rest. So Monica Eastway is our guest today. She's an Eco Gerontologist, a healing arts professional, educator, and changemaker. She's going to talk about the foundations of Eco Gerontology nature connectedness and reciprocal shared care, sensory engagement with nature, optimizing well-being, building a global care outdoors movement. So I'm going to speak in the first person. I am an Eco Gerontologist, educator, changemaker, dedicated to empowering individuals and communities to unearth the full health potential of their surroundings. My expertise lies in generating supportive, accessible, and multifunctional outdoor experiences and spaces that enhance quality of life for people all ages. I have a strong academic foundation, including a Master's of Science in Gerontology from the University of Indianapolis and a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Philosophy from the University of Toledo. And I have over 25 years of experience as a healing arts professional specializing in massage, sound healing, mindfulness, laughter, yoga, play, and so much more. It'll take me about an hour or so to read this. So please welcome back to the show, Monica Eastway.
Oh, wow. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
Monica.
Wow, that's amazing. No pressure, Monica. No pressure. Whoa.
Hey, what does that say in your Monica? What does that say in your name? Monica is awesome. Oh, no. Not Monica is awesome, but she is. Welcome.
Nature is awesome. And we're nature. Isn't that awesome? We are nature.
Great?
Wow.
When you say that, we are nature, what do you mean by that? What does that mean?
The birds, the bees, the trees, you and me, we're all together. We're interconnected. Yeah? Yeah, we are nature, and isn't that beautiful? Just looking at those ferns moving behind you, or these trees here, or this sweet little flycatcher nest over here, and their sweetness and their purity. That's who we are. We are nature. That's our best parts of who we are.
Now, a lot of people listening to this may think, oh, this is a lot of nice talk, but there's science behind this. And Michelle, it's important. I want to start off by asking you, you are not just someone who likes to walk amongst the trees. And gee, this is great. You have degrees. Yeah. You have a master's degree in gerontology. You have a psychology and philosophy bachelor's degree. Mm-hmm. So we're not talking to someone who's just like, a tree whisperer or whatever you call it. Mm-hmm. You may be, but you have science behind you. Yeah. So this discussion we're going to be having today is anchored in evidence. And so I want you to talk a little bit about that. First, tell us, what is an eco-gerontologist?
Yeah, we'll start with gerontology, right? And maybe that some of our listeners might know, it's gerontology, using interdisciplinary, science and research and practices. Our goal is to optimize and modify as needed people's health and well-being throughout the lifespan. We now know, you've probably heard of the blue zones. Now they've gotten more popular because the Netflix series, why, what is the lifestyle of these longest living, healthiest humans on earth? Now we know it's because, they live in environments, right? Towns and communities that are built for people and nature, right? They walk and walk and walk. They have strong social connections. They live with purpose. They grow gardens, and they have high levels of what we call in science nature connectedness. So they feel they are a part of nature. It's not something that's separate. So they do spend a lot more time than American culture, Americans, outdoors and in nature and engaging with the soil and the trees and nurturing their landscapes in this way. So eco-gerontology, gerontologists, we do know that the aging process is conditioned by genetic factors, variations in personal development, but above all, our individual dialogues with our environments, right? So the built environments, the social environments, our houses, our schools, our towns, our human-to-human connections. Yet what often continues to take a side note is the natural environment. How important our interactions and the health of the natural environment is for us to age optimally, right? Think healthy, nutrient-rich soil for growing nutrient-rich food, air quality, right where you are, I can see with these ferns in this landscape, you're breathing clean air. Not everybody's breathing clean air, right? Mm-hmm. So the health of the natural environment and our connection to the natural environment are profoundly important for our ability to age optimally. So the Eco Gerontology puts the ecosystem back into home, right? So eco comes from ancient Greek word okios, which means home, right? So we're all living on this shared home, planet Earth, and optimizing the health of home optimizes our health and well-being. And the great thing is, while we're nurturing nature's health, our health improves, right? It's a beautiful reciprocal care partnership.
That's a phenomenal response. And I hope that our listeners and our viewers are taking notes. I really do, because there's a lot to learn. So when we talk about traditional gerontology, we're talking about helping somebody walk well, or, maybe sit up straight, their posture. You're going so far beyond this. We're not just talking about like get some exercise, but you're saying be at one with nature around you. So tell me something. Not everyone listening to the show has the opportunity to have beautiful backgrounds like you and I have. Mm-hmm. They may live in a city where all they see is concrete buildings, 60 stories high, one right next to each other. What do we do for those people?
Yeah, and I've lived in, I live in a very biodiverse, nature-rich area now, but I did live 15 years in, Cleveland, Ohio, Toledo. I'm from a small town in northern Michigan, and I can assure everybody here, nature is everywhere, right? And sometimes it's that noticing, again, we go back to that awareness and noticing that little flower that might happen to be growing up in the crack, right? How to, nurturing our landscapes, encouraging and inspiring more treescapes, right? Tree-lined streets, because it is getting hotter. What is that doing? It's cleaning the air. It's providing us shade. There's some awesome community gardens happening in areas that haven't had anything, little old parking lots and things. So there's things happening because the science now, we have hundreds of studies on why this is important for our health and well-being, and cities are starting to take note. Which is
what we can say is, no matter where you are, whether you're surrounded by all this beautiful, you can ignore it all, or you can be in a city street and see a little flower growing, and you can be like, wow. So this helps, but the mind is what it's really all about. We have to take a break. So I'm going to toss it back to Michelle.
Yes, we are. And you know what? You can continue the discussion. And if you want to be a part of it, whatever live streaming platform you're looking at, YouTube, Facebook, E360 TV, sending your comments, your questions to Monica, or you can call in at 1-888-344-1170, and Ty will patch you through. It's Your Life for Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be right back.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah. Come on.
enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes, get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Welcome back. Welcome back to It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley, the co-host, and we have Dr. Michael Mantell, our co-host, and we have our guest today, Monica Eastway. And, you know, she started to just tell us a little bit more about Eco Gerontology, what are the benefits of it, and we're just so excited to have her. And audience again, if you want to join the conversation, you can call in at 1-888-344-1170, and Todd will patch you through, or whatever live stream platform you're looking at. We have about 65 live streaming platforms, including LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, E360. Send in your questions or comments to Monica Eastway. So Monica, let's talk about research supporting the impact of our environments on longevity. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. In our interaction, our dialogues with our environment. So as I mentioned with the blue zones, one of my favorite quotes from Dan Buettner's work with the blue zones, you know, the people that live the healthiest, the longest, is they quote, live rewardingly inconvenient lives, right? And you were talking before the show about being on the Gilligan's Island, the island without the technology and without all these, distractions that we have. And that's a large part of it, right? So when we're living this more of an inconvenient life, all of a sudden you're making radios from coconuts, you're moving, you're exercising, you're not going to the gym. I mean, you're naturally moving every 20 minutes. You're eating nutrient-rich food, right? You're having to need to bread and grind corn and all these things throughout our lifespan. So when we get too convenient, where we're driving everywhere, we live in towns where we don't have safe bike paths or walk paths, or towns that are walkable, our health and well-being suffers, right? So that would be like our built environments, so that's a big movement of livability is, okay, let's make our towns and cities more walkable and accessible, to all ages, and whether you're a mom with a care, got little babies, or you're older and maybe use a walker or a wheelchair, this benefits all of us, having access to social participation and inclusion, in housing and healthcare. These are the things that we need to live healthy, long lives in the communities of our choice. So that's that built environment and social environment. And what's often missing is this natural environment, because without the natural environment, that supports our home, that supports the medicines and all these things, and cleaning our air, and supports the food we grow. So with Eco Gerontology, I add that lens as a focus, particularly because we are rapid population aging and a catastrophic loss of biodiversity are happening simultaneously, right? And so, when we have 70% of our plant and animal species gone extinct in the last 5 decades. What will that look like, and how will that impact us 20, 30 years down the road, right? So as temperatures maybe get warmer. And so we're going to need to start nurturing nature to nurture our health and well-being as well. So that's so important.
You know what? I'm bringing Dr. Mantell, his opinion, because this is kind of under his subject matter expert. But Monica, how does the natural environment help with depression, anxiety, and behavior issues, your responses, your thought patterns? Can you tell us a little bit about that? And Dr. Mantell is the guy to also comment as well.
Yeah, and I love you mentioned, this is all ages. We now have hundreds of research studies on the nature experience for kids all the way up to elders and people living with dementia disability. So the science that I'm going to show, really, it's similar for all ages of the positive benefits. And what I like to keep it simple, smarty, I think of your brain on nature. So we do have now, with MRI, imaging and things like this. What's happening to our brains when we are aware, as you mentioned, Dr. Mantell, when you're really aware, nature's not just a background, when you're actually noticing the bark on the tree or how that, tuning into how that nice cool breeze feels on my face, what's happening in my brain? Well, your serotonin starts to flow. So you start getting up, your mood starts to improve. You start feeling a little more joy. You just imagine right when you step outside, I don't care if you're in a city, wherever you are, you're all of a sudden out of the four walls. You're out of a human built building or home or structure. Right when you step outside, there's this expansiveness just from the air, right? In the sky or the cloud or a star, the moon. So right away, that's engaging in a nature experience with the awareness. They found that your dopamine starts to flow. So you start to feel happy, pleasure, right? You can get it from a bag of chips, but just getting out, noticing and connecting, all of a sudden you're like, wow, this feels good, right? Right? Just think for a moment how you feel when your foot first steps on that beach, right? I feel like, anything that was on is away, right? And we know that this is what's happening. These chemicals start flowing in our brain, our endorphins, natural painkillers, right? All of a sudden your attention is on the waves of the ocean or the beach or this beautiful cloud over here, and the pain in your knee starts to slow down because that's happening, right? Your endorphins are starting to flow. Oxytocin, one of my favorites. Gratitude and connection. All of a sudden, once you start noticing and you're in this beautiful natural environment, or you notice the crack, the flower up from the concrete, you start feeling some oxytocin flowing from your brain. Connection. I was lonely. I was sad. All of a sudden, I'm engaged with this beautiful flower, this dandelion that's growing up out of this concrete, and I have a connection with something greater than myself. And that's another, the sense of self they found gets smaller, small sense of the small self, because the world, once we start tuning in, is amazingly huge, right? We become small in this look at the sky or the cloud or the cotton candy above you, and all of a sudden we that obstacle thinking they found starts to go away. All of a sudden, some creative ideas start to flow just for 10 minutes walking in a park.
Absolutely. And I think that was a magnificent answer about how being connected and being aware of this connection does help our mood. Now, there are people who say, yeah, I have a nice view, but it doesn't make me happy, because they're missing the link, the connection. Now, you envision a link for an older population, seniors, to be living more connected to nature. And you've written about this, you've been interviewed about this, you talk a lot about this. Let's talk about this. Our population is getting older, and we need to think about the importance for our health, physical and mental. And so what can communities who are housing older folks do to build this environment that we're talking about?
Yeah, this is a great question. And as you can imagine, that we could talk for another 6 hours.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm sure our listeners and people watching, we've all had, you're specifically speaking of residential care communities, right? From skilled nursing all the way, from independent to skilled nursing and things. And here in the States in particular, the design of these communities really aren't designed with nature in mind. They're not designed with, this connection to nature is important. We have all these studies that, it's people are going to move more, they're going to be healthier, they're going to be more hydrated, they're going to sleep better. Oh yeah, fresh air, natural sunlight. These are important for our health and well-being. Tends to not even be considered, right? So a lot of these facilities and communities, the windows don't even open, for example, right? There's a disconnect from how important it is as a form of care. I'll just go to the basics of fresh air and natural sunlight as a form of care. And the carers themselves aren't getting fresh air and sunlight. They spend hours indoors with nature. They might have views of a garden, but they're not using those views as a form of care. Let's make sure that Anne and Judy, who, aren't getting outdoors as much, that they can at least see the garden that they love so much. Or let's ensure that the doors are accessible, that if I'm Monica, I have a walker, I have a mobility impairment, that I can get to outside when I want to get outside. And the thing is the people that are caring with our elders and that are living in these communities, care communities, they themselves have lower levels of nature connectedness. They themselves aren't engaging outdoors. They're at the care work all day, then they're home, pick up kids, then you're home, and it's not considered an actual form of care. And one interesting point is older generations have higher levels. They spent their younger years very connected to nature. You can think about us, right? All of us,
Right.
I wasn't allowed to
play.
If it was sunny,
Right.
I
Right.
don't come home to the
Well,
sunshine
now,
you got to play outside after school. There was no
You
going inside and playing video games.
When you think about it, we go on vacation to go outdoors. We go to Costa Rica, one of the blue zones, which I love, and you see what outdoor life is like. And then we're going to house elders and seniors and active aging people in these little 2-bedroom, 2-room apartments. It doesn't make sense. Here's a very odd observation. When we die, we go outside. Where are cemeteries?
Yeah.
Calm, peaceful, beautiful outdoors. It's amazing. We need to live out there, not die out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the blue zones, right? That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
They're living what in Norway they call a friluftsliv, which I love.
Right.
Friluftsliv, open air living. Where I
Yes.
live, my neighbor, she's 95. She sleeps in a tower, right? An open air tower. She climbs up the stairs. She moves a lot, and wakes up at 1 a.m. calls her other neighbor, says, "Hey, do you see the moon tonight?"
We have one moment just left before we take a break and come back to this fascinating discussion. Michelle?
Oh, most definitely. This is definitely fast. I like your comment, Dr. Mantell, when you said that the seniors, they put them in these small rooms and they need to be out there in the fresh air and the environment. So thank you for mentioning that. And thank you, Monica, for responding. Hey, we got to take a commercial break, but we will be right back with It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
In this life you are gonna grow, but there's things in this world that you gotta know. To be the best that you can be, you wanna grow real big into a strong tree. To be who you're created to be, the one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. But you got to have these 4 C's. Create, collaborate.
The American Dream. This is a must listen for anyone who thinks they're stuck in life or needs to understand that their current situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet, is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, by Dr. James Cooley, on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Let's just pretend there's trees here in my background, so we might get the environmental outdoor experience. So that's not my background, but hey, welcome back to It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley, co-host, and our co-host also is Dr. Michael Mantell, and we have our guest, Monica Eastway, here to talk about Eco Gerontology. So, Monica, let's talk about nature, connectedness, and reciprocal shared care. First of all, what does that mean, and how is that important?
Oh, that's a 5-chapter question, but I was just sitting here thinking, how did this, my passion for this really happen? And I have a personal experience. About 20 years ago, I was a carer. I like the word care. Okay, we'll go there. Carer. It's what the Europeans call, instead of caregiving, they say we're carers. And I love carers versus caregiving because it opens up for a more reciprocal care relationship. Because caregiving, it's like I'm giving care. Not that I'm a caregiver doesn't mean I'm receiving care, right? I like carer because it opens up for I'm a caregiver and a care receiver, right? And so when I was living with my great grandmother about 20 years ago, I never thought of, I'm her caregiver, because we were sharing care. She was also caring for me. And so often we miss out on that reciprocal care relationship, and all care is reciprocal, right? And it's like, again, like you bring up a lot, Dr. Mantell, of having an awareness of this. If I'm thinking in my head, I'm giving, burnout, exhaustion, overwhelm. But also when you look at and say, wait a minute, those that I'm giving care to, they're also caregivers, and I can be open up to receive their care to me. What I like to call reciprocal shared care, so it's person-centered. So those that we're caring with, we value their preference or their preferences, their strengths, their abilities, they're part of they're active participants in the care process that we're open up to. We expand that to include that we have a very interdependent care relationship, right? So we open up to value and let them allow to make contributions of care to me. And that's what I love about Care Outdoors. Caring in, caring for, caring with nature, everybody benefits. And when my first experience with a skilled nursing facility here in the States 20 some years ago, things haven't gotten much better. My grandmother had a fall and she ended up on a 6th floor. All of a sudden, she loved nature. She loved gardens. No more nature, no more gardens, no more dog. Window that doesn't open with view of parking lot. And at the time, I didn't have this lens that I have now. I mean, I wasn't a gerontologist, and I didn't have the background in green care approaches and the science that I have now. But even then, I knew that it was like subconsciously how horrifying this, like all of a sudden she's a prisoner and can't engage outside. And then the care teams are exhausted, understaffed, on and on. And then with reciprocal shared care, the care teams themselves are also benefiting from the care. And you can't think of too many medicines that do that, right? I mean, so we don't think of, some of these places, they have outdoor spaces, maybe a rose garden or something. We don't think about, okay, I'm going to take June, we're going to go outside and we're just going to sit in our sit spot and gaze and just awe at the birds in the bath, and maybe walk around and notice the colors of the flowers as a form of care, because we're doing care all the time. And there's also a sense of just being with care, humans being, right? That's what I love about nature. That's Lao Tzu quote, nature never hurries, but everything gets done, so connecting with nature and growing our nature connectedness isn't just active. It isn't just therapeutic horticulture and care farming, forest bathing and walking. It's also those moments of noticing, of coming aware of our breath, of noticing the colors and tuning into how it makes us feel. And that's that happy brain chemical flow again, right? And so care receiver, caregiver, all of a sudden we're together in this, right? I'm also a care receiver, giving care, receiving care. And my favorite part, we're sharing care. We're sharing care.
I often think of doctors as those who treat patients and those who take care of people. I'd rather see a doctor who takes care of people than being treated by a doctor. Hey, I have a question. Last time you were on, you talked about the 5 A's, the letter A.
Yeah.
Let's come back to that and give you a little more time to get into that. What are the 5 A's and the sensory experience of nature?
Yeah, thanks for we love the 5A framework. So when I came up with the 5 A's, I realized other people like, oh, have you been through breakthrough? That's a framework with that, all these different things. But the A's are great. And it's very simple. The 5 A's. So awareness, awe, appreciation, activates action. And the 5 A's are in alignment with evidence-based pathways that we know now from the Nature Connectedness Research Group out of the University of Derby. These are the pathways that grow our connection to nature. And while we're growing this connection to nature, our well-being and our health improves simultaneously, which is really awesome. So it is tuning into our senses. So I say awareness, right? So right when you step outside, become aware of your breath. We love the breath, right? Because that's a very simple yet profound way to connect with nature. Because without the plants and without the organisms in the ocean and things, we wouldn't be able to breathe. Very simple yet profound. Step outdoors. I love Thich Nhat Hanh. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment. Wonderful moment. And just notice, enjoy a few moments and just notice wherever you may be. It might be a cloud, might be a bird. Just a moment during the break, a little black-capped chickadee was bathing in this. I have a bird bath right here, and the little flitter of the wings in the water, I couldn't help but smile. Happy brain chemical flow. And engaging your senses and continuing to engage our senses outdoors is a pathway to well-being throughout our lifespan. That's what they're finding with kids is nature deprivation is causing a diminished use of their senses. So awareness, engaging our senses, what you see, what you smell, what do you hear? What sounds do you hear? Maybe what is that rose? It's so beautiful. What does the petal feel like? It's really soft. And what does it smell like? And then tune into how it makes you feel as you're becoming aware. Because then
I'm sorry. Can you imagine that if we really live this way, if we didn't have to go to summer camp to go play outside, we could do it all year round. And for those who really embrace what you're teaching, life is so much more enhanced. It's so much more meaningful. And you talk about the dopamine and all the chemistry and the psychology. This is a gift. It's right here. It's waiting for you. It's there. It is. Wake up and see it.
So simple yet so profound. Awareness. And that what happens once you start noticing nature and becoming aware, you're going to find some awe. You're going to feel some awe. And awe, oh my gosh, you've probably done shows with the awe. The science of awe is nothing short of awesome, right? And so, think, these little, research has shown even brief experiences of awe, right? We think of awe, it's hard to define awe, right? It is, I like to think of it as, feelings and sensations of boundless wonderment, wonderment, excitement of, and they found that feeling this awe, particularly with nature in the sky or the solar eclipse, all these people are awed to see that for the first time, has these benefits, elevating our vagal tone, right? Wow. What does that do? The largest nerve in the system that's, the conductor of our cardiovascular and our immune systems. All of a sudden, woohoo, that's just from feeling something so simple.
Michelle, are you getting all this? Is this amazing?
I am getting all this too. I mean, that's a great feeling, like, it's like release and just pure joy and happiness and clarity of mind. But we're going to talk more about awe after the break. It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We will be right back.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
There's much truth in it.
Let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. All right.
Really
Listen, for anyone who thinks they're stuck in life or needs to.
And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do. If
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Welcome back to It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. I'm the co-host, and we have Dr. Monica Mantell, co-host as well, and our amazing guest, Monica Eastway, and she is talking about Eco Gerontology and just so many benefits, and just we need a 3-hour show for you, Monica.
Okay,
we're gonna finish half the stuff that we wanted to.
Let's get a documentary series.
I know.
Then we'll all go to an island and we'll
right
wherever we are.
But we can't document anything because there'll be no computers or anything.
That's true.
No paper, no pen.
I'm feeling badly for Todd right now. He's stuck in his studio, and we're talking about being connected to outdoors.
I know. It is not fair.
Thinking, Todd? You're looking out the window
because Monica had mentioned where she is in Big Sur. I mean, that's when you talk nature, that's one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Wow.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So what do you think so far, Todd, of this amazing guest?
No, it's great. It's, all this information is stuff that we need to kind of, get more in touch with nature. And it's true. You hear more and more, it's becoming mainstream. You hear people about doing grounding, get your shoes off and putting your feet in the earth. And, so this is a great topic for our listeners. I love it. I can't wait to hear more from Monica.
Wow. So, for order for me to be in nature for a long time, I have to do a 3-hour tour and end up on Gilligan's Island. But that's another segment. But Monica, you're talking about the 5 A's. You left off with awe. What about the other three? Appreciation, activates, and action. And get to it.
All right. Yeah. So we've got our awareness, our senses engaged, and all of a sudden we witness this beautiful little bird or cloud, and we feel awe. So awareness, awe, and then what happens is gratitude, right? This appreciation, this deep love and appreciation, gratitude for the natural environment, and this does happen. This is a sequence that happens, and as you were talking about the awe experiences, the happiness, the joy, then all of a sudden, wow, I'm so thankful for these moments that we can experience, witnessing a sunset or the way the ferns are moving behind you, Dr. Mantell, that I could see right now. And there's a couple studies that actually showed that noticing 3 good things in nature every day for 5 days, just noticing 3 good things in nature, and I've done this practice and it works, brings sustained increases in well-being and grows nature connectedness with clinically significant improvements in mental health. Just noticing 3 good things in nature. And they found sometimes it's more profound than just gratitude practices are all great, right? But sometimes the gratitude might be, something related to my job or this and that. When you focus on the 3 good things in nature, they found it does grow our connection to nature. So then you're starting to getting that happy, your brain on nature chemical flow. And just these simple things that we often aren't noticing and maybe taking for granted, like, wow, the fog this morning came and I was thinking 3 good things in nature. It's been really hot here, and all of a sudden this fog came in and cooled nature's air conditioner, and I was like, so this appreciation, and that activates. So awareness, awe, appreciation activates connection and care, connection to each other. They found people with higher levels of nature connectedness do feel more connected to their neighbors. They have higher levels of humility, contentment, joy, whatever's going on in your life. Right now I'm on this pioneering quest, and I'll tell you, it's not easy. My new mantra is passionately persistent and patient. It's like every day I'm drafting a map, and a lot of closed doors, a lot of knocking on steel doors. And I'll tell you, my morning awe walks, I'm religious about my morning awe walks. Obstacles tend to go away, and all of a sudden these really creative little nuggets of wisdom come to my brain. And sometimes I jog back, like I got to write some of this down, and don't wait until my obstacle mind hits back in and say, well, that's kind of a wacky idea. Just do it, right? So these are the things that science is showing that happens when we do get outdoors, when we do go for morning walks and really notice tuning in. So awareness, awakening our senses, feeling awe, appreciation, good things in nature that connects us to not only each other, to our homes, but to the trees, to the birds, to the flower growing in the cracks. And then the loneliness starts to disappear. You don't
and the little bee that just flew by me right now.
The little bee that just flew by you, which we
Monica,
love.
Absolutely. What is your favorite season?
Oh, I love them all. I'm from the Midwest originally in Michigan, and so the seasons are much more dramatic, right? Spring, summer, fall, winter are very distinct. That's why we celebrate all the celestial holidays, right? And the fall equinox is a big deal there. And here in California, where I live, it's much more subtle, right? I mean, the fall here, it's the warmest, where it's opposite where I'm originally from. Like, it's supposed to get colder. I want to make pumpkin soup. What do you mean it's the hottest month?
Someone once said in San Diego, the saying is this: spring comes in summer, summer comes in fall, fall comes in winter, and winter not at all. That's San Diego weather.
Winter, not at all.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I do miss winter. I got to see snow this last March. I went up to Kirkwood. See, we got it all in California, right? I went up and saw snow for the first time in 12 years. I still have some of it in my freezer, and it was so magical. But I had a week of it. I'm like, That's enough. Because the winters can be
Let's
long.
get back to hey, real quickly, because we only have a couple of moments left. You offer courses, you offer retreats. Can you tell us about them real quickly? We only have a moment or two left.
My courses are designed as retreats. So I focus on, in their online courses, I focus on experiential learning. So imagine a course where, yes, you're going to go sit in your sit spot. You're going to become aware of your breath and start noticing nature wherever you are. And once you start feeling this science, that's going to help you become a Care Outdoors leader for whoever you're working with, all ages, and I do a program for kids too, training little Care Outdoors leaders to go into these nursing homes and these communities and bringing the residents outside. Reciprocal-Shared care.
And if they want to get in touch with you to learn about this is your website, tell us about that real quickly.
Yeah, MonicaEastway.com.
Easy.
Monica,
Michelle,
join our movement.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you so much.
Well, you mentioned your favorite season. I'm from the Northeast. I'm from New York City, so I'm used to the change of seasons. I do miss fall. There's something about the fall weather and the air and the leaves, just the beautiful, even though people have to rake them up. The leaves are on the ground, but it's so beautiful, especially like if you're walking, in your backyard or like walking in the city, you see Central Park. It is a beautiful, beautiful sight. And I love fall. I love all four seasons. That's what I miss about it. And, we're in Texas, so it's hot, 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 hot here all the time, but it can get cold, but it's not the same. So, Monica, in 30 seconds or less, what one takeaway do you want to leave with the audience? 30 seconds or less regarding this topic.
Okay, wherever you are, every day, step outdoors, breathe deep, become aware of your breath, and just notice what you see, what you smell, what you hear, and tune into the awe and the wonderment that is around us all. And you will feel better. You will feel better.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Dr. Michael Mantell. Thank you, all audience. It's Your Life with James J. Cooley. We will be right back again here tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. See you then. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley.